But Danica De Giorgio, I want to rush you to perhaps a more sexy topic. This one, the list of donors to the yes and no campaigns for The Voice last year, now been released by the Electoral Commission. And guess what? The yes campaign got 5 times more money when it comes to just the big donations than did the no campaign, and still lost. The yes campaign got $58 million, the no campaign just 22, and the yes campaign still got smashed. I find this strangely reassuring, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, isn't it fantastic that 60% of us, Andrew, voted no to Labor's divisive voice referendum? And the proof is now in the pudding, isn't it? Because all of those donors have egg on their faces, spending $50 million. What a waste of money right down the drain. I'm sure some of those CEOs are probably thinking, what were we doing? But look, it presents a broader issue, doesn't it? And what does it tell you? That CEOs, executives, the suits in their air-conditioned offices, they are so out of touch with customers. I mean, some of those companies listed there, ANZ, Commonwealth Bank, they have put millions into this campaign. Why? Virtue signalling. They want to tell us what we should think, how we should think, and how we should vote. Quit with the virtue signalling. We saw what happened with Brad Banducci of Woolworths. He was the first scalp to go. And quite frankly, Andrew, we're sick of these woke corporates trying to interfere in our lives, and the proof is in the pudding.
I think that's absolutely correct. I do think this was a revolt against the elites in part. But you touched on a point. Will, the single biggest donor to the Yes campaign was the Paul Ramsay Foundation, $7 million. Even though Paul Ramsay, who I met once, was a Conservative, was a friend of Tony Abbott, a friend of John Howard, asked to meet me. How conservative do you have to be? He would have hated this use of this money after his death. And then the ANZ Bank misspent $2.5 million of its shareholders' money in the Yes campaign. Woodside, Commonwealth Bank, Westpac, Wesfarmers, BHP, Rio Tinto, all donated around $2 million or more. Woolworths, $1.5 million. They lost the lot, and not one of them, as far as I can tell, asked their shareholders first if this was the best use of their money. That seems to me an abuse of their power.
Of course it is. And you know what annoys me the most about this is that this will go down on the balance sheet under charitable donations. They'll get a tax write-off for this money. It should go under the marketing line of the balance sheet. These were blown brand campaigns. It's not even that hard to see. Qantas had it slapped on their bloody planes. Like, this was a really failed attempt to try and look virtuous, exactly to Danica's point, and it backfired massively. This shouldn't have tax exempt status because this really was being driven by virtue signalling CEOs and CMOs. And to Danica's point, it highlights the dangers of woke capitalism as opposed to focusing on shareholder value.